I think I was diagnosed by about 8, and that's when the teachers were saying that this kid's just a nightmare.
When my child was around 6 or 7 years old, then that's when I realised that he was really struggling with the reading, with the writing, the spellings.
We could see there was a mismatch between what he knew and what he could produce. But because we knew very little about dyslexia, it never even crossed our minds that it was a possibility.
How did it make you feel having dyslexia?
It made me excited at first, but then I realised it's not very exciting when you're a kid.
I was quite sad and shocked because I thought it was like a bad thing.
Didn't really know what it meant, and then when I found out, it was a bit like a surprise in a bad way.
It's a different way of seeing and understanding, but it's not less or worse, it's just different.
Lots of children, lots of people get dumbified because of it.
Where actually the frustration comes from the fact that many dyslexic students, their intelligence level is the same as their peers or above, but because the content is given to them in a format that they can't access, it's very frustrating, and it means they underachieve.
This quote by Albert Einstein that he said, "Everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by how it can climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life thinking it's stupid." And that's what happens to these kids in school.
Teachers would compare my work to students that were by far better than me. I would say, look at his work, how neat it is, and mine would be really bad handwriting. I would just find it difficult, and I was frustrated.
You're always at a disadvantage. So you have to find ways around that problem, and you have to solve those problems, often independently within your head, to say, okay, well, I understand that, but then we can do it this way, or you can do it that way, and by doing it that way you can create the same results. And it's that sort of lateral thinking that allows us to then compete with everybody else.
They can think outside the box, they're very creative often, they've got lots of, because they're used to those challenges of working around things, and so they bring an extra dimension to the class.
I involve him with everything I do in order to open his mind and see that it's not all about reading, writing and spelling. There's so much more in life that you can do.
The things that I find hardest are times tables and writing, maths and English,
Spellings,
writing. Mostly the words kind of fizz around.
I find the writing quite tough.
The problem that I have is I'm very nervous. Teachers, I don't like putting my hand up for questions. I don't like asking questions if I don't get it.
if you know that no one has confidence in you, it's like, why is it even worth just doing this?
Self-esteem is massive, it's massively important, and if you've got teachers that don't really understand the needs of the students in front of them, don't understand how to get their information across to students, they can become very frustrated, and it's easy to label the child rather than to look at your own practice. And yeah, it can have a massively negative knock-on effect if people are not aware of those needs and how to meet them.
And I think it should be the primary object of the school to make sure that every pupil, irrespective of whether dyslexic or whether, has the ability to be able to achieve the best that they can achieve.
So it can go both ways. You have a supportive family and a supportive school, the kid will thrive. If you don't have that support, those children will give up on themselves.
Well, my ideal school would probably be teachers always there to help you and always free anytime for you to come up and ask.
I would rather do about 10 in each class. We're not writing so much, more printing out stuff than you can write on it instead of doing lots and lots of writing.
It would be a school of creativity, so art, everything that's creativity, has to do with creativity would go there.
By trying to train teachers up in order to meet the needs of their dyslexic learners, that's just good teaching, and so they are then meeting the needs of all the children in their class. It goes across the board, so you're not sorting out the dyslexic students at the detriment of the other students. It actually meets everybody's needs.
If I had a younger brother that also was dyslexic, I would probably tell him that it was okay.
I would say to them, maybe just don't be afraid to ask teacher for help.
Even if it seems like it's impossible, it really ain't impossible.
I say, don't listen to others, just go and do your work
and try your best.
Everybody should be taught with a dyslexic mind present. That way every child will flourish.
I think if we were all dyslexic friendly from day one, we'd have much happier children in our schools.
I actually started to believe, and Kian believes, and we do believe, we honestly believe it, that it's a gift. I feel I've been gifted to be dyslexic and to have a dyslexic child. It's a blessing.